Welcome back to Pokemon episode summaries. Today, I'll be doing episode 54, The Case of the Canine Caper. The episode begins with Ash and the gang in the forest as usual, where Jigglypuff is watching them, obviously wanting to spread its voice still, even after all these episodes. Wow, an actual recurring thread. Nice. Speaking of voice, Ash and the gang then hear Officer Jenny's voice, wondering where it was coming from, as a burglar pops out of the bushes, leading Ash to order his Pikachu to try and take down the burglar with all its might, but unfortunately, Pikachu huddles away, terrified. Which, I mean, makes sense. The burglar had a goddamn gun and everything, and who knows what he even stole and what was in that bag. Officer Jenny's voice is then heard again as it orders a Growlithe to attack, as a Growlithe steps out from the bushes out of nowhere and absolutely obliterates the criminal, causing him to drop his gun. With the gun now useless, Pikachu was no longer scared of the burglar, so he jumps off of Ash's shoulder and finally obeys him, shocking the criminal. You would think that this would make Officer Jenny and all the Growlithe very happy that they had someone helping them, but it actually just pisses off Officer Jenny and the Growlithe, who proceed to corner Ash and the gang in anger, wanting to protect Officer Jenny and the other two police officers as they walked up to the burglar and comforted him for some reason. Ash and the gang are obviously confused by this. Why the fuck are cops helping out a criminal, right? But Officer Jenny then angrily reveals that the criminal was in fact not a criminal after all, but a police dude in disguise who was trying to train the Growlithe on how to act in a real situation. So he dressed up as a criminal to do so. Pikachu shocking the criminal obviously put a stop to this operation, which was why Jenny was so pissed off. Ash and the gang then try to defend themselves, obviously stating like, oh, how could we have had any idea that that criminal was a false criminal? And Jenny's like, you know what, fair enough. Brock then bends down to pet one of the Growlithe in an attempt to convince it that they didn't mean no harm to the police officer, as Ash whips out his Pokedex and scans the Growlithe, wanting to learn more about it. The Growlithe, unlike Jenny, who had thankfully accepted Ash and the gang's mistake, were still hesitant at trusting them, so the Growlithe only responded with ferocious growls, which caused Ash and the gang to freak out, being scared. This led Officer Jenny to step in and informed the Growlithe of Ash and the gang's mistake, now fully believing them, and ordering the Growlithe to show the gang some respect, as they all lined up and gave them a howl in honor of them. Ash and the gang were amazed by the Growlithe's unity, not holding their anger against them. I mean, could you blame the Growlithe? They were training to be police dogs. Really, this situation probably gave them better training than the false burglar one would anyways. Meanwhile, Team Rocket was spying from a tree as usual, and when they saw the Growlithe, they instantly wanted to steal them. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Well, except for Meowth. He just wanted to stay the fuck away, as him being a cat made him terrified of the dog Pokemon. Jesse and James both eagerly shut down Meowth's worries, though, as Jesse stated that Growlithe would be the perfect Pokemon for them to capture, being police Pokemon, stating that if they brought them to Giovanni, he would be very grateful, as the police were always a thorn in his side, with Giovanni being an evil mastermind and all. And James then states that he had the perfect idea to steal the Growlithe. Meanwhile, later that night, Officer Jenny had taken Ash and the gang to the police office training center and was feeding them a meal, presumably out of obligation due to feeling bad for yelling at them for no reason. And Ash and the gang were eating like fucking pigs. To be fair, they were probably starving from walking in the forest for all eternity. Officer Jenny laughs at how fucking insane they were eating. The fucking speed eater like Nikocado at this rate. As they're eating, though, they still manage to talk somehow, as Ash keeps on raving about how fucking cool and brave the Growlithe were for being willing to stand up to criminals, while in the process shaming Pikachu as Pikachu ate for being a coward against the fake criminal when he refused initially to use Thunderbolt. Brock and Misty thankfully both defend Pikachu by saying that you shouldn't expect a Pokemon to fucking be willing to attack someone that has a gun. Like, that's just suicide at that point. And even Officer Jenny agrees, stating to Ash how the only reason the Growlithe were able to do it was because they were especially trained to be police Pokemon. Pikachu was not a fucking police Pokemon. This gives Ash the idea to have Pikachu train alongside the Growlithe and simply give him police training, thereby making him a police Pokemon. Brock thinks this is a bad idea, stating that the training would likely be too intense for Pikachu, but Ash rebuttals this, arguing that the whole point of training was to push your limits, and that's exactly what the police training would do to Pikachu, making him reach a new best. As this conversation was going on, Togepi had spotted a dropped piece of food, likely from Pikachu, and had chased it to the edge of the table as it rolled off, wanting to go get it, and Pikachu had jumped in to try and save Togepi, as it was just a baby. Who knows what could happen if it got dropped, but as Pikachu runs towards it, it clumsily falls off itself. I guess it should have been worried about itself. Seeing Ash's determination, Officer Jenny reluctantly agrees to let Ash join in on tomorrow morning's police training session. Ash goes to bed happy that night, sleeping in the police station, obviously, but certainly does not wake up happy, as Officer Jenny wakes him up bright and fucking early in the morning to the point where it might as well still be night, by blowing a whistle. Ash checks his clock as Brock is woken up as well, and realizes that it was essentially still nighttime, and lays back down, ignoring Officer Jenny. This leads her to blow her whistle yet again, immediately waking up Ash for the second time. This time, even Misty and Togepi are annoyedly woken up. It's surprisingly not dark out when Ash and Officer Jenny, along with Pikachu and one of the Growlithe, then head out to the training field and begin the first exercise, which is an obstacle course. Pikachu looks at Ash worriedly, which implies that it really didn't want to do this training, and was like, I think Brock was right, I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle this, but Ash quickly reassured him, wishing him good luck, and telling him that he needed to do this if he was going to get stronger. Officer Jenny then butts in, and informs Ash that he had to do the obstacle course as well, not just Pikachu, because why would they just train Pokemon to handle police situations when humans could do it as well, and they had human forces? adding that Ash doing it would only make Pikachu's performance stronger, as Pikachu would be more motivated after seeing its trainer having to go through the same thing that it was, ensuring it that Pokemon and trainer were equal. This would help with Ash and Pikachu's bond, which was an essential component in police work. If the Pokemon and police officer couldn't work together, then nothing could be achieved in the field. Ash is obviously hesitant to do this, now seeing why Pikachu was so against it, huh? Though he eventually agrees, and the race begins through the obstacle course, with Ash and Pikachu actually managing to take the first lead, running past Jenny and Growlithe. However, that lead swiftly comes to an end as they encounter the first obstacle, which was a wire net that required crawling. Growlithe and Officer Jenny, having done this multiple times before, clearly don't panic as they crawl through it as quickly as possible. Ash, on the other hand, struggles immensely, and Pikachu's tail gets caught in the wire, even though Growlithe didn't, even though Growlithe is way fucking bigger. But due to Pikachu's tail getting caught, Pikachu gets angry and tries to get it out, shocking Ash in the process. The second obstacle was a really high wall, which Jenny and Growlithe also very easily somehow climb. I don't know how the fuck they did that, but Ash struggles and falls off multiple times, and on the last time, he falls on Pikachu, which angers him and causes him to unleash yet another Thundershock, leaving Ash very injured when he returns to Brock, revealing that he had very humiliatingly lost the obstacle course. Brock then states that this just proves that Ash and Pikachu shouldn't be doing this fucking training, with Brock stating that Pikachu was already strong enough anyway. Like, he was his strongest Pokemon. If there was anyone that needed training, it wasn't Pikachu, especially due to Team Rocket constantly wanting it. He must be special, right? Ash rebuttals that Pikachu could always get stronger. There was no limit to power. And looking over to Pikachu, wanting confirmation that Pikachu also thought this, but Pikachu then just downed its head in shame, absolutely fucking tired out from all of this. Once again, trying to show Ash that it didn't really care about becoming as strong as the Growlithe. Speaking of Growlithe, Team Rocket then show up in a Growlithe van and break into the police compound wanting to steal the Growlithe. Ash, Brock, and Misty all make fun of this in a way that I would, by saying, why the fuck are you guys breaking into a police compound when you're criminals? Like, the police are just gonna fucking arrest you right away. Team Rocket then come out and do their motto, which alerts the Growlithe, and they all surround the Growlithe van, ready to attack Team Rocket, along with Ash and the gang. And when Meowth spots all the Growlithe, he instantly is reminded of his initial hesitance of the plan, once again because he was a cat and terrified of the dogs. Team Rocket just tell him to shut the fuck up, and go on to explain the reasoning why they wanted the Growlithe, being that they wanted to use them to rob banks, as well as museums. Officer Jenny then responds by being like, well, but how do you plan to get the Growlithe to listen to you, though? They're fucking police Pokemon. They're not going to listen to criminals. But this leads James to reveal the plan that he was talking about, which involved gas canisters that were labeled with a gloom on them, implying that they may have included gloom scent from the Erica Gym Battle episode in some way, shape, or form. As Team Rocket are wearing gas masks, they aren't affected, but everybody else is, including Ash and the gang, Officer Jenny, and all the Growlithe, making them all cough as Team Rocket laugh. However, it appears that aside from the coughing, Ash and the gang or Officer Jenny weren't affected by this gas, only the Growlithe, who had seemed to lose their sense of smell, not being able to smell Officer Jenny anymore. Team Rocket then pulls out yet another canister of gas and sprays that as well, and this time the humans are affected as their voices are made high-pitched and squeaky, so it must have been some fucking helium gas. I don't know why there was a Psyduck on it, though. Officer Jenny tries to order all her Growlithe to attack Team Rocket, but she fails, as Brock explains to Ash and the gang that the Growlithe no longer smell her or recognize her voice at all, so they're just fucking lost, wondering what to do, as Jenny panics, not being able to handle Team Rocket. Team Rocket then changed costumes faster than they ever had before into police outfits so that they resembled Officer Jenny. They then pull out this fucking voice-changing megaphone thing that they somehow had and change their voice to Officer Jenny's. They then proceed to order the Growlithe to tie up Officer Jenny in a whole bunch of rope, and the Growlithe, not knowing any better, due to hearing Officer Jenny's voice and just mindlessly following, not bothering to look at the body differences, obliges to Team Rocket's request, tying her up. With Officer Jenny captured, Team Rocket then order the Growlithe to line up near the van, and are about to order them to jump in, when Ash and the gang step in, ready to battle Team Rocket with their Pokemon. To make matters worse for Ash and the gang, though, Jessie then orders all the Growlithe to angrily corner Ash and the gang, just like they tried to at the very beginning of the episode. And on top of that, Ash and the gang realized that they left all of their Pokemon in the training center, so they had none on them. So they were fucked. Just kidding, because Pikachu was there, and he arrives and scares the Growlithe away with an electric attack, being Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt doesn't end up doing that much in the long run, though, as before Pikachu can get more than one tiny one off, Team Rocket then comes up with an idea, which is to dress up, as well as change their voice to Ash's in an attempt to get Pikachu to listen to them, due to it being able to recognize Ash's voice. And this appears to unfortunately work, and almost does, as Pikachu's ears perk up, but then Pikachu then remains by Ash due to his immense bond with him, likely improved by doing the training course together as Officer Jenny had suggested. So essentially, Ash and Pikachu's partnership was already so strong that Pikachu was able to fucking basically deny mind control. Damn, that's some powerful bond right there. Ash is absolutely amazed by Pikachu's loyalty, as Brock further reasons that another reason for Pikachu potentially being able to resist Team Rocket's calls was due to it knowing that Ash would never do anything as evil as Team Rocket was doing, knowing how good of a person Ash was. Team Rocket get immensely pissed off that they can't add Pikachu to their captured list, and swiftly switch back to the Officer Jenny outfits as they order the Growlithe to attack Pikachu once again. Pikachu, though, is way too fucking strong, and manages to successfully get off a whole bunch of Thunderbolts, absolutely wrecking the Growlithe. Due to utilizing an immense amount of energy from the repeated thundershocks, though, Pikachu becomes dizzy, having utilized so much of the electricity from its cheeks. This renders it essentially unable to battle, as it collapses in Ash's arms, and Ash holds it as the Growlithe close in, since all of them weren't able to be defeated in time. In a Deus Ex Machina moment, though, before the Growlithe can maul Ash and Pikachu to death, Jigglypuff from earlier in the episode shows up, wanting to sing, and attempts to. Does this put the Growlithe to sleep, though? Nope. Because it wasn't really much of an attempt. It stayed there for a few seconds, and then as soon as it saw the Growlithe closing in, it was like, see ya, I'm out of here, bitch. Don't worry, guys, this Jigglypuff scene wasn't entirely useless, though, as the few seconds that Jigglypuff stalled gave Officer Jenny enough time to escape from the rope, not having to deal with any Growlithe, and tries her best to get the Growlithe to obey her. Team Rocket once again states that it was futile, though, as they order the Growlithe to attack Jenny, leading one of the Growlithe to bite her hand. This Growlithe, though, eventually remembers all of its past memories with Officer Jenny, likely due to its immense bond with it, just like Ash and Pikachu. This was probably the Growlithe that Jenny just did the course with, as that would explain why their bond was super strong, right? But we then see a whole bunch of flashbacks of Jenny caring for the Growlithe when it was injured, them playing together, them hugging each other, and all these memories are what fully free the Growlithe from Team Rocket's control, as it licks Officer Jenny back under her command, in happiness. Team Rocket sees this and gets pissed the fuck off, but Growlithe, the other Growlithe, must have seen this as well, as when Jessie tries to order them to attack yet another time, they all decline as well, recognizing Team Rocket for who they truly were, and Officer Jenny for who she truly was. Team Rocket then panic and try their best to modify their voice settings, thinking maybe their voice setting didn't work and that's why the Growlithe wasn't listening. But all they end up doing is switching each other's voices, making Jessie's voice come out of James's mouth, and James's voice comes out of Jessie's mouth, and then eventually Meowth's voice come out of both their mouths. Speaking of Meowth, he panics when he sees that the Growlithe were ready to attack Team Rocket, and instantly drives away, not waiting for Team Rocket to get the fuck in the van. Team Rocket follows suit as fast as they can, but they can only run on foot, as they get bit in the ass literally by the Growlithe. With Team Rocket dealt with, Ash and the gang say goodbye to Officer Jenny, as Ash realizes that Pikachu didn't need the police officer training after all, as it was able to kick some serious ass even without it. And also recognizing that his bond with Pikachu was more important than Pikachu's strength, so if Pikachu didn't want to do the training, then he didn't want to jeopardize that. Great, Ash, I'm glad you realize that now. I thought you and Pikachu's bond was already fucking well explained by the Pikachu episode, but I guess not. Brock, having been dying to simp for Officer Jenny the whole time, you could even see some fucking blush on his cheeks when they were first in the training center, finds one of Team Rocket's dropped megaphones and switches it to Officer Jenny's voice and uses it to impersonate her and essentially make her claim that Officer Jenny loved him. Wow, that's like fucking deepfake level shit. Also, how come Brock was able to find a way to switch to Nurse Jenny's voice when Team Rocket couldn't in the end? But anyways, despite Officer Jenny just witnessing a fucking impersonation attempt, which she could throw Brock in jail for, she just laughs it off, and Misty and Ash are actually more opposed to this, as they're embarrassed and freaked out by Brock's voice turning into a fucking woman's, and also his fucking desperation. Officer Jenny does at least reject Brock, as usual though, leaving Brock depressed as Ash and the gang continue on their journey. The episode then ends with Brock leaving behind the megaphone in the forest that they were walking through, believing it to be fucking useless, absolutely angry that his plan didn't work. Just then, the Jigglypuff spots the megaphone, implying it was going to use it for something.